Good evening. Welcome to this regular meeting of the Jefferson County Board of Education. It's good to see all of you tonight. We call this meeting to order, and we'll first invite you to join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I understand we have a student guest from the Martin Delaney Learning Center. Excellent.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce Stephen Tisdale. He's an 8th grade student from the OLC. He's been with us all year. He has done an excellent job. I'm very proud of him. He's a savage at hockey. His eyes light up when we're in STEM club. He has a wonderful smile, and I'm very proud of him. So I'm honored to introduce Stephen Tisdale for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, Stephen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Stephen, thank you. Thanks for your work at the Learning Center and for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know who does his hair. I'm jealous.
I'm definitely jealous.
Yeah, you're definitely jealous.
This is always one of our favorite times of the board meeting when we get to do some recognitions of our outstanding students and faculty and employees. And I believe we're going to lead. Are we leading tonight with a very special recognition?
We are with our JROTC. Major Sudan.
Ready?
Yes, we are always ready for you, Major Sudan.
Good evening, Dr. Gibson, board members. This is the most exciting thing we do, I think, every year is the presentation of the Shoe and Coat Fund check. Without further ado, I'm going to hand it over to our Corps Commander, Cadet Colonel Danny Carroll.
All right, well, good evening, everyone. Before we present the check, I'd like to recognize our top 3 donators this year. So in first place, we had Cadet Captain Zach Knott. Zach single-handedly donated about $2,000 by himself. In second place, we had Cadet First Lieutenant Michael Enriquez. Michael single-handedly raised over $1,800 by himself. And in third place, we actually had one of our best first-year cadets, Cadet Chloe Munslow. She raised over $1,300. So without further ado, I'd like to ask Cadet Major Ethan Gottlieb to present the check.
I always bring a tissue at this point.
So this year, our Corps cadets raised over $48,000 this year.
All right.
We've spent a lot of money this year, as you might imagine. The need is really great, and these young men and women just rock it. My first house cost half that. And we've been really lucky the past couple of years. I've come to their classes and talked a little bit about poverty and the different faces of poverty. It's not just what you think of, and you see the results of their learning and their incredible hard work. Thank you all so very much.
Before we conclude, I'd like to recognize Chloe as well. Chloe was one of our top first-year cadets to raise money. So as a result, we're actually going to promote her tonight. So
If I could also just add, these seniors up here, if you're a senior, raise your hands, please, Art. Okay? These folks have been in their class. They have raised more than $100,000 for the Shoe and Coat Fund over the 4 years that they've been in junior ROTC. So they have really been spectacular with everything they've done. So we really appreciate you guys. And if I could take 1 second to recognize somebody, Michael, if you'd step out for just 1 minute. About a month ago, I think you heard about it, Dr. Gibson.
I do.
The United States Air Force decided they're going to invest in 120 junior ROTC cadets across the country learning how to fly an airplane this summer. They will go to one of 6 universities across the country. 5 of our cadets applied. Over 800 applied in the country, but Michael was actually selected, so he will be going through the Flight Solo Academy this summer at to be determined university at this time.
All right.
We're really
Well, to young men and women in our ROTC program, you always make this Board of Education very proud, and you certainly have tonight. Congratulations on your promotion and to your summer experience, and I know all of you are going to have some great experiences in the future. And I would just add that the board accepts this check tonight in memory of our dear friend and former employee Lisa Carper, who always did so much here in the school system to support this fund. So thank you very much.
I think I gotta go shopping.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Gibson.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pam.
Dr. Gibson, try to top that.
That's not possible, sir. That's us at our best right there. That's us at our best. We do, however, have more recognitions
Yes, we
for
do.
you.
We
Yes,
have some
sir.
outstanding recognition.
It's a pretty amazing and diverse school system. Actually, one of the ways that those students get to be the kind of people that they are because we have the kind of staff that we do. And after many years in which the Eastern Panhandle and in general and Jefferson in particular, I think have been overlooked in some ways by Charleston. And I think through a whole host of efforts, now the eyes of the state are here where I quite frankly think they should have been for some time. And through that process, we were very proud to have, for the first time in the history of Jefferson County Schools, the 2018 West Virginia Teacher of the Year, Miss Caitlin Thorsell from Washington High
Yes, Caitlin's gotten a lot of recognition over the last few months, and there's much more to come. We are especially proud of her, Washington High School. We are proud of her as a community. Many of you know that beyond the work that she does in the classroom, her FFA work is outstanding. Her community service through the fire company is definitely, she is the role model, and that's what I continue to say, that if all teachers always present like Caitlin does, we got nothing to worry about. Congratulations again, Caitlin. You are so welcome.
I know this may get a little old for you, but it sure doesn't for us.
Not at all.
All right, 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Doris.
Thank you. You know that you're setting the bar for many other teachers, and you'll always be the first, and hopefully you'll inspire some more to be right behind you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
This evening, we also have one of our students with us this evening, Alex Witten, and he's here with his parents as well. Alex, come on up. We are also pleased to have his teacher, Mrs. Laura Burkholder, with us. For those of you that remember from last time, our art teachers do send in artwork to the WVSSAC, which is the West Virginia Secondary Schools Activities Commission. They regulate band and athletics in our state. And Ms. Burkholder is always kind enough to encourage our students to enter. Alex has his cover tonight, and it's beautiful, and there would have been probably 10,000 people at the state volleyball tournament who would have seen his work. Ms. Burkholder, if you tell them a little bit more about Alex and his outstanding work.
Well, Alex is one of our prize students. I tell you, my students know that if I'm unavailable, Alex will help them. Just get him right on that. I have seen him help out teachers. I've had teachers call me and say, I need to have a logo done by 11 o'clock today, and I can get Alex on it, it'll be done, it'll be beautiful. And he absolutely is worth his weight in gold. And we're very proud. This is I think it's our third.
It's our fourth.
Our fourth win, but our second year in a row. So we're really proud, and the artwork is beautiful, and everything is done completely on a computer and hand by him. So wonderful job, Alex. We're very proud of you.
Alex is also pretty modest. When we recognized him at school, he recognized not only Ms. Burkholder, but also Mrs. Gore, one of our CTE teachers, and he said that he was able to put the skills together from both classes in order to make this cover. And I think that speaks well of the collaboration that we're seeing in our schools.
All right. 1, 2, 3.
He's also a pretty darn good soccer player.
Thank you, Alex.
For those of you that don't get to see the cover, it does have his name right on it. It also has Ms. Burkholder as his teacher in our school. So it really brings a lot of recognition. You may have that. You may have that.
Although I'm sure it may end up at a display case somewhere at
Yeah,
Washington.
they might be running short of room up there.
We do need some more cases.
We do need some more cases.
We need some more cases.
Oh,
up
Ms.
there.
Burkholder. Yep, Ms. Burkholder just sent our on letters in a bottle to the international school in New York that we collaborate with, and she always forgets to tell me about the shipping costs that stuff is. Yes, that's okay, Ms. Burkholder. That's okay. That's okay.
Keep up, Ms. Burkholder.
Happy to sign that check, Ms. Marcus. Anytime.
We are.
Happy to sign that
We
check.
sent letters in a bottle, and kids all decorated them and wrote the letters, and they put them down in the bottles, and they're making something for us. So they're always hard at work. Speaking of always hard at work, we are also delighted tonight to have Miss Kathy Junkins as the Spirit of Jefferson winner for Jefferson County. The great thing about this is that 2 students nominated her. Most of the time when you hear about it, it was an educator, a fellow teacher, or an administrator, but this time 2 young students, and they're fine young ladies, and they were a little shy this evening. For a month they've been saying, I'm coming. Then they got a little shy. But Skylar and Sophia definitely have a lot of respect for Miss Junkins, and rightfully so. She's been the spirit of Jefferson County schools for a long time. She started with us in the junior high, then was in a middle school, and then 9th grade, and then came with us to Washington High School and has been there. Miss Junkins is a giving, loving educator. She started with the AP kids here, and then she came to me and she said, I think my talents would be better served with some other kids. And she works with our collaborative kids. She's got a huge heart. She is one who is always wanting to learn. The use of technology in her classroom is unbelievable. The way she works and has a collaborative relationship with her co-teacher as well as others. She's the social studies department chair and has been there. She fights for social studies. I'm sure Paul Espinosa got a lot of calls and letters to keep that 4th social studies. But she always advocates for our school and for Jefferson County schools. And that's what makes her so great. Ms. Junkins.
I thank you all very much for this.
Doesn't surprise us.
1, 2, 3.
Thank you. Thank you all very
Well,
much.
thank you. Congratulations. Yours? She did?
She had a message.
Yeah.
And 4 RPC badge.
Good evening. Another recognition here. I'd like to recognize 3 of our 5 teachers that had applied for and won mini grants from the Eastern West Virginia Community Foundation. Total grant winners out of the 5 teachers was $245.23. That we have with us here is all Jefferson High School teachers, correct? Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Then we have Mr. Daniel Price, science teacher. I know that just a sentence or two. Tell us about your grant, if you could.
I applied for a grant for some equipment for our chemistry lab.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Price. You come on around this way. You're eventually going to go back to the board members for a picture, okay? Then Mr. Michael Janey, that you want to give us the nutshell about your grant?
Sure. I applied for a grant for $500 to purchase a subscription to an online newspaper site to try to revitalize Jefferson High School's newspaper. So,
Excellent.
There's Jane. Got a few stories up there already. Jane Chess Cougar.
Check us out.
We have Mr. Neil Hall.
Hi, my name is Neil Hall, and thank you, sir. I got a site software for the school, pre-algebra software, CUDA software, pre-algebra, so we can use it through all the different classes and different learners that we have. I teach special ed math, so I was trying to find something that can attain to all the kids.
Yeah.
So I applied for this grant, and I feel very fortunate to be my second year at J High, but also to get this grant. So I'm so excited, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you.
Happy to have you here. Two teachers who could not be here was Miss Tamala Fort and Miss Margaret Henry are not here. They also applied for grants and say they also are from Jefferson High School, so it speaks highly for the initiative from our Jefferson High teachers for applying for those. And
It sure
if
does.
you want to go around that
Yeah.
side of the board table, you guys can go around and get a picture taken.
I'm a former editor of the school newspaper, so I love it. This time.
Thank you very much. It's fancy. It's
Yeah.
21st century.
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. All right, great.
Thank you. Yeah. Pretty much.
First time I've had to put these on to be able to read anything.
Yeah, well, you're not going to
Yes, I'm good at that stage.
Welcome to the club.
I'm pleased to recognize Steve Conrad as the Spirit of Jefferson Service Personnel recipient. So Steve, you want to come on up? Steve began working for Jefferson County Schools in July of 2003, and he currently spends half his day at Charlestown in the morning and half his day with us in the evening. The best word to explain about Steve is dedication. Even in times of adversity, Steve makes sure that he always puts his colleagues and the kids first. And he makes sure that even when sometimes days aren't the best for him, he has a few words to say for his colleagues, bring a smile to their face, the parents as they come with our numerous building uses that he sees at night for basketball and plays and everything else. And like I said, through adversity and through a lot of dedication, Steve's been able to fight through for us and be there for all of us. So this is a great award for him, and we're glad to honor him.
Mr. Conrad, congratulations. Thank you. Thanks for your service. Thank you.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more. 3, 2, 1.
Madam Superintendent, thank you for the opportunity to share some of these outstanding demonstrations of going extra effort on behalf of students and faculty, staff. It's always good to get a sense of what's going on in the school system. And this is a very good reminder. Comments?
No, sir.
Okay, approval of minutes of the January 16th meeting. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any changes, revisions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Citizens' comments. Mrs. Harner, I think we had 3 sign up. We'll call out your name. We'd ask you if you, we invite you to the podium, and we ask you to restrict your comments to 3 minutes. And we'll take you in the order that we hope that you signed up. Jessica?
Hi, Jessica Tvergan. I'm the president of Jefferson County Education Association. So on behalf of my association, I would like to say that we are pleased with the decision to keep President's Day as a no school day. As you may be aware, there was quite a bit of concern when we saw that this was an item for discussion and possible action on the agenda, so lots of noise was made. And obviously the reason for our concern was because right there on the 2017-2018 calendar, it had stated that because of our accrued time, which means more time that teachers are spending instructing students, we wouldn't have to make up days until they had exceeded the 5 days. So when we saw that, we of course were very concerned that we were going to be asked to work even more than we already do. So again, I just want to say that we appreciate your transparency in the matter and for deciding what you did. Thank you.
Thank you. Katie Rice.
Hi, my name is Katie Rice, and I'm a senior at Jefferson High School. This past Friday, I was informed that due to some decision that there would be a discussion about not being able to wear our stoles at graduation for clubs that do not have a GPA requirement. My past 4 years of high school has been a very stressful balance between sports, clubs, and most importantly, academics. I put a lot of work into my clubs and that go back into my community, into my schools. And whether or not there's a GPA requirement for Renaissance Club, Interact, or Key Club, just some of the ones that I'm in, doesn't neglect the amount of work that we put in and how hard we work for those. And throughout my 4 years in these clubs, I've worked with a goal in mind that I would be able to wear a representation of all my hard work that I put forth into my community, and to take that away from us, just, it kind of like belittles and makes it feel like our work isn't as important as what National Honors does because they have a GPA requirement. And I would just really like for you all to take into consideration how much work we do put into our clubs, and it's just as important as all the other ones when you make your decision. So thank you for your time.
Thank you. Abigail Snyder.
Hi, my name is Abigail Snyder. I'm also a senior at Jefferson. I am the historian of our local Interact Club, which is in part with our Shepherdstown Rotary. I'm here to talk about the same kind of thing. We were informed we couldn't wear stoles. I have been with Interact since the beginning, 2.5 years we started this club. So it would be nice to have a physical representation to honor the individual achievements that we've taken our time to create. On behalf of my fellow classmates, I'd like the board to revisit this decision that negatively affects so many of my peers. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your time.
Thank you both for being here, and best of luck in your senior year. And I think that's it. On this particular issue, this was, we'll need to make sure that the communication is out to everyone, that this was previously considered, I believe, by not the board, but by the
Committee from the two schools.
from the both schools. Consent agenda.
No changes, sir.
Did you say no changes?
No changes, sir.
Okay. We have a motion to consider consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it. Unfinished business? None?
None, sir.
New business? Ms.
First,
Fitzwater?
Ms. Fitzwater. Wouldn't be a meeting without Ms. Fitzwater.
The first item I have, I am asking your approval of a half-time personal care aide, one-to-one at Paige Jackson Elementary until the end of this school year. I have uploaded the data that my staff has collected and the staff at Paige Jackson. Working with Mrs. Schaefer to look at scheduling and everything, this is the reason we're asking for a half-time. She is able to fulfill the need the second half of the day with her staff.
Okay, we have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any questions? If not, all in favor say aye. Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Next one.
The second item
Bless you.
Bless you. The second item I have, I'm requesting a full-time special education aide at TA Lowry, and this position will be covered by a personal care aide already in the system. Their student happened to move away about a week and a half ago. Therefore, they became available. So this is a student that has moved into our area from Berkeley County. I have uploaded the IEP that came with this child.
Do we have a motion?
So moved.
And a second.
Second.
Any questions? Thanks for providing this information. It's very helpful.
Yes, sir.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item C.
Yes, sir. As noted by Mr. Bergen, one of our previous speakers, the board, in submitting the calendar to the state, wisely designated snow makeup days should we exceed the allocation that we were given. We have experienced one snow day this school year, this academic year, and it is a determination of the board whether or not we use a snow makeup day. We do, however, have 4 remaining and can also apply for additional days if we submit a plan to the state that has to be approved for alternative means of delivering instruction. At this point, we feel very safe that we've planned wisely, that our staff has done well. When we could open safely, we have, and it's our recommendation that we are confident that the board will accept that we not utilize February the 19th as a snow day and that we continue to utilize it as a holiday. We simply wanted to be able to make that announcement and official decision of the board well in advance so that people could feel secure that they could make their weekend plans without any interference.
So, since that's currently the plan that doesn't require any action from us. Is that correct? I mean,
That's
this is-
you are
this is
you are not
discussion.
you are not creating you are not utilizing that snow makeup day.
Right.
You are making a decision not to utilize that as a snow makeup day.
Now, when we have the blizzard of 2018, sometime after.
And that is a possibility, yes,
right.
sir.
Then-
If we
then
suddenly
what's our-
afterwards,
then what
we
we
have
do?
snow makeup days, later, snow makeup days 2 through,
Right.
infinity, after that. However, we would have to get through the allocated instructional time that we have saved because our school day is longer than the minimum set by the state of West Virginia. So we have banked days to be able to utilize.
Okay.
So feel fairly confident that we won't be extending the school year, and if we did, fairly minimally. We'd have to have a pretty significant. I'll say it quietly.
There's always March.
There is. But we don't believe it would be in the best interest of our staff or students to disrupt their schedule and force an extra day now and the off chance that we
Oh,
might
yeah,
use 10
absolutely.
later.
Absolutely,
It would be poor politics, poor timing, and certainly our staff and our students are better when they're refreshed and have a nice weekend with their family and they have good balance in their lives, which is what we try to achieve.
Any questions? Well, since you raised calendar, I will just ask one question. It's more of a long-term question, since I've been getting some questions from parents about when school will start in 2018. When will we had approved? We can only do a year calendar.
Yes, so you can only do 1 year at a time.
But we published last time a notional calendar that we would hope that would give the community some sense of where we hope the calendar will be the next 2 or 3 years.
Yes, sir, that 5-year calendar that we had a regional committee
Right.
where we jointly decided on. And again, you can't bind future board decisions. So it was
Right.
sort of a gentleman's agreement on start date,
And this was
Christmas
for-
break, spring break.
And this was for Morgan, Berkeley,
Morgan,
and
Berkeley, and us.
Jefferson, which
Yes, sir.
makes some great sense.
Yes, sir.
But we will actually get into the calendar approval process for next fall, roughly.
I would hope that this board would be voting on a calendar end of February.
Okay. Just wanted to get a
Because we
general
already
sense.
have all of the major building blocks set in those.
Right.
It would just be a matter of President's Day, Columbus
Yeah,
Day.
right.
Are we,
Yeah.
those much more minor things. And we already set the parameters for spring break as well, depending on when
Right.
Easter and
Yeah.
Good Friday fell in that. So
Exactly.
once we all agreed on the rules that we would use, there's less for the calendar committee to have some angst around.
Right.
So
Good.
I anticipate it to be a fairly prompt process.
Good. Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Do we anticipate an executive session?
No, sir, we do not.
Okay. Any comments from the board?
We had a RACA meeting on Thursday, and it seems to be going fairly smooth, the transition at this point in time. Wouldn't you say, Blondie?
Yes, sir. Actually, we are far ahead of the rest of the state, the ones that either disbanded their RESAs entirely and are scrambling, quite frankly, to get services back in place, and others looking to us to possibly secure agreements for services because we are fairly far ahead.
And I like how we have gone about a lot of things. There was an issue with special ed coming up recently, and they suggested that all our special ed directors that were in our region get together and see how it affects them personally. And I think that was a good choice, and I think we have done that on most of the choices so far. So the transition has been pretty smooth.
Excellent. Yes, sir. Mr. Cady?
This past Thursday, Rumsey had their awards ceremony. Had one at 8:30 in the morning and one at 12:30. And in those two sessions, Jefferson had, so I think Jefferson had 6 and Washington had 6 altogether of students that did have awards. Am I right on that?
Yes,
Do you
sir.
remember?
Yeah, that's
I think
correct.
I'm right on that.
Yeah.
So we had 12 students that were recognized as outstanding in their individual coursework. So I thought I was pretty proud
Yeah,
of that.
that's great, and particularly given the distance they have to cover sometimes to achieve that success.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, anything else?
No, sir.
So are you suggesting that I adjourn this meeting?
I wouldn't presume to tell you what to do, Mr. Secretary.
Okay, we are adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.